Lovely stuff. Oh shit! Live. I'm not aware near ready.
And we're not live.
We are live. Just not ready. Welcome back to episode 201 of Tall Boy Radio. Now, I know if you're out there in the working world, you've probably found there's been a little bit of sickness this time of year, and it's what we expect, and we're suffering the same thing here at Tall Boy Radio. So we'll start off by wishing all the best to Dave, who should be with us tonight. However, unfortunately, he has COVID, so is missing out. We're also supposed to have Andy with us, who's got work issues, and he is now running late. Hopefully he'll join us on the next episode, but I ain't holding my breath, but we shall see. And also, we should have had JB with us as well, like from the North and Southern Beer Review. However, he let us know about a week ago he was not going to be available. We thought, hey, we're going to do it anyway. Gaz, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Evening all, evening the world. I was really looking forward to this, and don't get me wrong, I still am, just not quite as much. You know, it's always great when we have new guests on, people we haven't had on, returning guests, etc., etc. But no, we'll no doubt we'll make the best of a bad lot, and we'll see where we go.
We will indeed. So yeah, as Scott says, we are making the best of a bad lot. So with Christmas coming up now, there's going to be those occasions where, unfortunately, the bloody wife is being unreasonable and refusing to drive, and we have to do the driving ourselves. So we're going to take a look at non-alcoholic beers. Gaz, what's your general opinion on non-alcoholic beers?
No, look, I think from years gone by, and please don't sue me, but years gone by, you had Beck's Blue, and that was about it. And that, I mean, if I'm honest, that was probably one of the first ones that I remember being out and about. And you know what? There's been a massive explosion in non-alcoholic beers. Most companies now produce a non-alcoholic equivalent. You know, there's loads. I mean, we've got 6, have we, tonight? That we're going to have a quick look at. You know, so there's obviously a market for it. There's obviously a time and a place for it. If possible, I try not to drink them.
I know what you're saying, though, dude. There is this reputation, and I was trying to figure out how to sum it up, but then I got a message off our old friend Dave McGuinness, which I'll play for you now, and I think that summed it up quite nicely.
Hey, okay, just a quick one, just in your podcast about non-alcoholic beer. So I don't know if you've heard this before, this saying, but it tickles me up when someone tells me. But non-alcoholic beer is like going down on your sister. It tastes exactly the same, just wrong.
No,
I wasn't expecting that.
I knew you. Well, I wasn't. I was sat at work and I played that. And I was like, oh, Christ, I had to close that one back down again.
Do we need to put a parental warning on this episode? I think we probably should.
We probably should. That's quite upsetting, isn't it? Really, it's a very.
I mean, look, I haven't got a sister, so
yeah, me neither.
So you know,
so we can only take his word for
it. Yeah, no, I'm not going to say that. So. Yeah, look, I mean, people have I suppose a preconceived notion of what it is and what it did in the past, and taste was almost a secondary thing compared to the fact that it's no alcohol, and people only had limited choice and they would only ever drink it because they had to drive, and it was something that people didn't do out of choice. Now, these days, lots and lots of people choose to drink non-alcoholic drink because allegedly it's healthier for you. Obviously there's less side effects in terms of the following morning and hangovers and all of that malarkey. And you know, the choice that you now have actually is quite wide.
Yeah.
And instead of just having your lagers, you'll have your non-alcoholic stouts, you'll have your lager derivatives, you'll have your pale ales, you'll have, you know, loads and loads of your big companies are doing it. So, you know, in terms of the choice out there, much wider
That's it. And like you say, in terms of Dave himself, who normally on the podcast, he every week drinks non-alcoholic beer, and by all accounts enjoys it. And obviously, you got Johnny Simo over in Virginia, loves his Bush NAs and swears by him and says they're pretty darn good. No, I've not tried that one. I don't think I've tried Bush, but not Bush NA. That's a joke there. Ties it with Dave McGuinness, doesn't it? But well, let's move on. But yeah, by all account now, the beer market has moved on and it's increasingly popular. Like I say, in the summertime, non-alcoholic beer sales were up 25%. The likes of Guinness, who do a 0% version of their iconic drink, they're actually trebling their production of it because it's become that popular.
Yeah.
Again, I've not tried that one. One I have tried is Lucky Saint, and I don't know if you've tried that one, dude, but I actually had it on draft in the Hound and Trumpet. I tell you what, dude, it's not a bad ale at all.
Well, I haven't tried that. I have tried the Guinness Zero, and it's okay. It's okay. And I know people talk about Guinness. Oh, it's an acquired taste, it's like most drinks, but people seem to think that Guinness is an acquired taste, and at first you're like, oh God, I hate that, and then you sort of learn to appreciate it, sort of thing. But and the 0% is okay. It obviously isn't Guinness. It doesn't quite have the sort of the body as such of Guinness. Even though Guinness is, it is a quite heavy drink as such. I didn't mind it. It's okay. But just on the back of what you said there about having a drink, hand puller and having a pint. The first one that we're trying, I've actually had this as a pint, and it's been pulled from a pump, and it's basically it's the Erdinger Zero. If I can just show that up there.
Hold it up to the camera.
There you go. So it's the Erdinger, and actually, I don't mind this. And I know you might have a slightly different opinion of it.
Well, I don't actually. I'm going to agree with you because I'll be honest. The first time that I just tried it was just as we were starting, and I did pull a bit of a face. But I think it was just that first initial taste. But I'm telling you now, this ain't so bad. I could drink this.
Yeah, I'd like to say, I unfortunately pulled the short straw on one night. I can't remember where we were. Where were we? Can't remember where we were. But it was on draft, and I said, oh, go on, I'm driving, so I'll try it. And actually quite liked it. So then went back for a second pint. Because normally, you have one drink, you think, oh, I don't like it, so I'll have something else. But I actually went back and had a second pint, and it's actually it's all right, mate. It's all right.
Yeah, I could drink that. What percentage is that then, dude?
It is. I'm just having a look. It says less than 0.5%.
Yeah, less than 0.5. So that qualifies as. I mean,
it's a bit low or none.
Yeah, it's low or no on it. I think if you go over 0.5, then it becomes low alcohol. But at 0.5, it is no alcohol, or so it's called. I know some of the ones we're going to be trying today, or certainly a couple of the ones that you brought, are 0.0%. So there's absolutely zero alcohol in it.
Yeah.
We've got Erdinger, which is that's normally like a wheat ale, isn't it, or a white ale?
Yeah.
And then you've got Left, which is an ale, Brewdog, which is an IPA. I've got a couple of, I've got a hoppy lager, I've got an ale, and I've got a stout, got a milk stout to try. That's the one I'm probably looking forward to.
Okay, you do like your stouts, don't you?
I do.
Have you tried that one before?
I've not tried any of those.
Okay,
over there.
I've tried without giving too much away about which one we're going to have a little taste of. I have tried the hoppy lager one that we're about to, or at some point I've tried that before.
We'll crack that one next. Yeah. So we'll give that a go. So in terms of the Erdinger, dude, how are you rating this one then? If we're going to give it a score out, like you say, in terms of the mouthfeel, which is where you say the Guinness one lets it down a little bit, it doesn't have that full-bodied texture to it. This actually does a little bit. I don't think you'd necessarily know.
No, I say I have drank the alcoholic version. I have drank Erdinger, and I quite like Erdinger as well. But the taste of it, sometimes I find with non-alcoholic, you get that slightly aftertaste is a bit like, you can tell that there's just nothing there. Whereas I don't find that with and I'm not saying I would happily drink it all the time, but if somebody put that in front of me and said it's a zero, it's a low alcohol, there you go, you're driving. Yeah, I've done it before. I'd drink that again.
Indeed. And good evening, Shana McShine, who chimes in saying Dixon Gang, which, if you are unaware, then shame on you, but it is a reference to my shirt. So, dude, did you want to try the next beer?
Yeah, which one are you thinking?
I'm thinking we crack open
this.
So this is an American beer. It's Brooklyn Brewery's low alcohol, special effects. And interestingly enough, this is one of the best-selling no alcohol beers on the market. I don't know if you knew that. So it is a hoppy lager. I'll let you pour that because you finished yours.
Cheers. What we really should do is just have separate glasses and stuff.
Should do, but let's.
And you said that this is an American.
Yeah, so that one is obviously American beer, Brooklyn Brewery, which was founded in 1988 in Brooklyn, New York. And they've been doing this beer for a number of years, actually. And it's now become part of their regular stuff. So that's quite a dark one, to be fair, for a lager. Yeah, I poured more than that. I'd probably care to.
Yeah, I've had that before. So
I'll tell you what, dude. That's all right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it again. I was just about to ask China, actually, obviously being in the good old US of A, whether or not you've partaken in the Brooklyn Brewery sort of zero no alcohol. Hit us up, Shine. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you think. And also, do PBR do a no alcohol beer? I'll be interested to know, because that's what we're doing tonight, folks. We're testing the no alcohol beers for you. So if you're having to drive over Christmas, you don't want to fall foul of the law. So yeah. So this beer was launched in the UK and Europe in 2019, and then launched in the US afterwards, which is curious.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, interesting way to do things. And it is very popular because of its taste. The idea is, with it being a hopped lager, it appeals to people who like lager, and it appeals to people who like ale. I've got to tell you, dude, this one's all right.
It is another one that I've had and actually went back for a second drink and thought, actually, that's okay.
If I saw this behind the bar, I would. Yeah, I'd go for this one probably over the Erdinger. I'd rate this slightly higher.
Yeah, I agree.
And we probably do need to put a disclosure out and a warning here, because one thing about non-alcoholic beer is it can be quite gassy,
which you've probably picked up on already.
There might be some windy pops. Yeah, so non-alcoholic PBR as a product. The woke culture. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Cheers, appreciate that.
Yeah, I wouldn't dispute that, dude. I wouldn't dispute that. But yeah, we here in the UK, if you're listening in the US, here in the UK, drink driving laws are very, very strict, and they do really, really crack down right about Christmas. So it's not something you can be fucking around with, is it?
It isn't, and it goes back to what we said 10 minutes ago. Sort of thing. There is actually now a really wide choice of sort of non-alcoholic drinks, so you haven't really got an excuse. If you are down as a designated driver, which we would obviously advise you to do over the festive, well, all the time really, but particularly over the festive period, just do a bit of research. Try a couple, and then like I say, there's loads of varieties out there now. You are not limited to one or two lagers, which historically have been terrible.
They have been. I remember one called Swan, a Swan non-alcoholic lager, which basically tasted of matches.
Swan vestige.
Yeah, it might as well have been that dipped in water. But like I say, if you listen to this podcast, then well done. You're doing your first little bit of research and finding out about non-alcoholic beer.
That's actually okay.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I tell you what, dude, I'm not angry about that. This is one of those episodes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm dreading a little bit. I do like beer. And so this one is 0.4%. I tell you what, if you had to drive over Christmas, you could do worse than drinking that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen to that.
So one of our other favourite beers on this podcast, and we use normally obviously the full alcohol version, well, that would be Left, dude. Did you want to crack that one open?
Yeah, so obviously this is only a slightly smaller bottle, obviously, but it's the Left 0%. Now we have a bit of an issue with Left just because they actually dropped the alcoholic content of their main beer, so we're not very happy with them.
No, we're quite angry about them, aren't we?
We are quite angry about that. But no, this is I haven't tried this, but it is the one that Dave obviously drinks quite a lot. So it's a shame that Dave isn't with us, because this is one that he this is the drink of his choice, and this is one that he's always drinks on a Tuesday night. So I'll be curious and interested to know what this tastes like.
Indeed, I have had that now. When Andy's wife was expecting their little one, he was drinking that of an evening, and I got to be honest, he gave me a bottle of it. I didn't think it was too bad. He says down in the last bit of the last one. I didn't think it was too bad, but this is one that I do think really does lack the body. What do you make of that?
It's not quite. I mean, obviously, it's not quite left, is it? So
No.
It's okay. Out of the three, it's probably the worst out of the three that we've had so far. It's tasty, but it significantly lacks something. But I'm just not sure what that is.
No, and Charlotte says, "Y'all, I've got to get some corn down to hunt here lately. So have a great day and get out there and kick the day in the ass and leave your mark on the world, Shiner." Out. Cheers for that.
See you later, Shiner.
Yeah, see you later. So, yeah, obviously, clearly, in terms of our good friend there in Oklahoma, it's not high on his agenda having a non-alcoholic beer, but I don't know, dude. What are you thinking on this one?
I say it's hard when there's a 0% version of a drink that you like and you drink, and I won't say drink lots of, but obviously on if you listen to the podcast, it left is a drink I've had and I quite enjoy the full alcoholic version. So it's really difficult because you have that in your mind. It would have been interesting to try, which is why I'm looking forward to the stouts and stuff, because I haven't tried them before. So I'd be interested to know, without having the alcoholic version to compare to, what it's like. The left's okay. I might have a bottle of the small one, but I possibly wouldn't go back for a second one.
It's gassy.
Is it?
Excuse me. Yeah, I'll edit that out.
I think what we need to do is just like alternate drinks. So like you talk, I drink, and then
I think so. Yeah, I think so. So so left is like you say, it's a fantastic beer. Normally 6.6. This is the blonde version. This is the non-alcoholic version of the blonde that we're drinking right now. And just recently, it's been dropped down to 6%. And it isn't the same beer, but it's very sweet now. Whereas this, I don't think it has that sweetness, but you can tell it's missing the alcohol. But it is probably the strongest beer original that we will be comparing to. So there's a difference between 6.6 and this is 0.0.
Yeah. Which is, so at the Erdinger, I'm not sure what the Erdinger is, but it'd be about 4.5, maybe, is it?
4.5, 5,
I think something like that. And then obviously one of the other ones would be, so if you went, what's Punk? About 5?
5.4 Punk is, yeah.
So, yeah. So, but in terms of the biggest variance between the alcoholic version and this is the biggest, and I think it is the one so far that we could tell.
Yeah.
It just lacks a little bit of something.
It's definitely the gassiest as well. I'm struggling.
Or the fact that we've just had loads to drink in the space of 10 minutes or whatever. So
that's it. So I'm intrigued to see what the Brewdog one tastes, and we'll probably try that one next. But interestingly enough, Brewdog have gone quite big in this market. Now, the market in the UK it's about 0.7% of beer sales are non-alcoholic beer sales, which is interesting. And obviously, because there is a percentage to it still in most of them, and it is a beer product, you still do have to be over the age of 18 to purchase them.
Yeah. And like I say, you go to the supermarket and you buy some non-alcoholic beer and you scan it through and you get the doo-doo, and then the red light comes on. So you need assistance. It literally is no alcohol.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, Brewdog. So they do a non-alcoholic version of the Punk IPA, which we're about to try. They do the hazy, I believe.
Is it Nanny State? Is Nanny State?
Yeah, they do their Nanny State, which is a low alcohol one. And they also do a 0 of the Elvis juice, which is 6.5.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't think I've seen that.
I've not seen it many places, but it is. I had a quick look on their website, and it is available to buy on there. So, I mean, 6.5 is a big old difference there. But you've got the grapefruit flavoring in it, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, like I say, I think I've had the Nanny State. I have drank this one, the Punk AF before. I think somebody must have brought it round and left a couple of cans. I was like, oh, let's have, I'll try it. Yeah, they do. Just happily burping away in the corner. I'm glad you can't hear that over there, out in the big wide world. Jeepers!
Don't set me off.
He's gone. Right, shall I start this? Because I've had this before.
Go for it.
I'm not a massive fan. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it tastes nothing like the original.
It's just completely different. It's a completely different drink.
Yeah, nothing like it. There is just somewhere in the back there, in the back of the palate, there is a slight taste of the Punk IPA to it. Certainly a lot thinner in the colour.
I just don't think it's when you first taste it. Now, whether or not they want it to taste like Punk or it's just a completely different drink as such, they obviously market it as Punk but alcohol free. So they obviously want the comparison to be made with their Punk drink.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's anything like the original, and
No.
it isn't the worst one I've ever tried. I think it'll be the worst one out of these. It's not the worst one I've ever tried, but it's not. It's just not for me.
I'm going to tell you this, dude. Now I'm gonna be contentious. I quite like that. If you take that Punk name away from it, okay, I'm actually not angry about that. It's a very, 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 very watered down stuff. It's so watered down, it don't really taste like beer.
I think that's what I was saying. I think it's the watered down version.
Yeah.
I think it is that. It sounds obviously too weak. It is that just that watered down. There's nothing to it. There's no
there isn't.
kick. There's no body. There's no taste. It's just yeah. It's not absolutely horrendous. It's just meh, a bit meh.
I don't mind that one.
Really? Do you mind? You would take that over the left zero?
I would take that over the left zero. I would take that over the Erdinger.
Would you?
I would. I mean, I don't think you're going to top the Brooklyn
the
special effects.
See, I'd go Brooklyn, and then I think the Erdinger. The left is, I think, better than the Punk. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
So that for me is the worst one of the ones we've had.
That's interesting. So do any of these, other than the Brooklyn, which actually does taste like a beer, tastes really like quite a good beer as well, if I'm really honest.
Yeah.
Do any of these sort of mirror a beer? Are you getting that? Do you feel like you're having a beer when you're drinking them?
Not this Punk AF, I don't.
No.
I think the Brooklyn one, and when, as I say, when I went out and went to the pub and had the Erdinger Zero out of a handful out of a cap, I actually felt like I was having a drink.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind it. As I said, didn't mind it. And I went back and had a second one, so it must have been okay.
You get a bit of an aftertaste.
Sorry, that was me.
That's okay. You get a bit of an aftertaste with this one, like when the wind makes its way back up the old gullet and through the pipes. You do get an aftertaste of the Punk where you can taste that to it. But I know what you're saying. It's very watery. I think if you can separate it as a drink, I think it's quite refreshing, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
Pep it up with a bit of vodka or something. Not if you're driving. Not if you're driving. No.
Sorry, officer. I'm on Punk.
But look, this is alcohol free.
Yeah. Oh, what's that?
Well, less so.
So yeah, they're just okay.
Yeah, I'm not angry about them, dude. I'm not angry about them.
You can finish that one.
No, I don't want to. So
like it, but not that much.
The next one we're going to try. So Northern Monk. So they're faith beers, and obviously the name is obviously featured heavily around faith. So this is the Holy Faith, dude. I'll let you crack it open first. And this is the hazy pale ale. It's 0.5. I quite like Northern Monk beers. I don't know what your feeling is about them.
I quite like Northern Monk as well.
They do some really good beers.
Really good ones, yeah.
Do some really good strong beers as well.
I think I might have a Northern Monk in the fridge, but not sure.
No, so again, I've not tried this, but in all honesty, I don't tend to drink non-alcoholic beer. If I'm going out, my option is that I tend to take is I'll either have nothing to drink at all. Well, I'll have a Coke. I'm not, it's not an absolute protest. Sit there with a face like a slapped arse.
Wow, that's very light.
Oh my word, it looks like cloudy lemonade.
You won't be able to pick that up on the camera, I don't think, but look at that.
Looks like lilt.
It does.
It does. But yeah, I'll maybe have one sort of 3-4% beer.
Yeah.
And then just stick to Coke after that.
Yeah. If I have, there's been a couple of times where I have thought, oh, go on, I'll have an alcohol-free version.
Yeah.
But as you said, I'll probably have a pint and then just.
My biggest issue is the gassiness of it, to be honest with you now.
Well, this doesn't look great either for it, so
no.
let's have a go. So
Let's try it on the palate first. I'll smell anything. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't actually know what it's supposed to taste of. If that, like,
No.
I can't discern any flavour in that.
I'm really disappointed with that. I had high hopes for this one.
What is it meant to taste of?
Well, so let me tell you about this one, though. So Northern Monk, it's their Holy Faith Hazy Pale Ale. So pale ales tend to be a little bit lighter on the flavour anyway. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And this one's been brewed since 2020 and has been a regular part of their catalogue since 2022. Northern Monk itself was founded in 2013, guys. He's just having a little burpee. And yeah, so this is based around, I think, their pale ale, which is Faith, which maybe is about 4%, 4.5%, something like that. And this is supposed to be a no alcoholic version of this, but it's very similar in many ways to the Punk AF in that it just tastes like it's been really heavily watered down.
The flavour.
There's no flavour.
No, that's what I'm saying. Imagine, I don't know, if you're a kid and you had some Ribena or something, and you put some Ribena and put some water in, and you got like a really nice flavour.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you just kept adding water and adding water and adding water until almost that flavour's gone.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
I'm really, really disappointed in that one. I'm really disappointed in that one. So, I mean, the idea of this episode wasn't just to slag off all of them.
No, to be fair though, we've said, you know, the Brooklyn Brewery one is really nice, and we both said we would drink that.
Yeah,
I like the Erdinger Zero, and I would have that. So, you know, 2 out of the 5 so far, we've both said we would, I suppose, quite happily drink.
Yeah,
the left. Not quite as much for me. Definitely not the Punk AF. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I wasn't. Could I drink it all evening? No, I don't think I could.
No,
I could have 1 or 2 of those on a sunny afternoon, and I think I'd be okay with that.
Really,
I do think I'd be okay with that. But I think if I was going out over Christmas and other people were drinking, and I want to feel like I was part of that and I wasn't missing out, that special effects would be number 1 for me, like I say.
Yeah.
And number 2 would be the Erdinger. You know, when I first tasted that, I wasn't wholly convinced.
Yeah.
But actually, I thought that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
This, I'm really disappointed in Northern Monk with this one. I thought they'd have done something special.
Yeah, I did. I mean, we'll drink it obviously because it's TBR. So that's the rules.
We need to empty the glass for the next one. That's the way it works.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's disappointing. And I know a lot of these beers, the way it works, they'll make their regular beer and take the alcohol out. So which is probably what they've done with this one.
I just don't see. There's just no flavour. I can't think what the flavour is. You know, like is it a? You know, you mentioned like an Elvis juice, so you know that's grapefruit. You can tell the taste of that, and when you're drinking other beers, you can tell it's a hoppy, it's a this, it's a that. You can tell the taste that they're going for. I just can't in this. I genuinely, if you read the can and it says, oh, it's a citrusy this, I can't taste any of that.
The curious thing for me out of the ones that we tried so far and the ones that we like so far, so that Brooklyn is hoppy. So there's a clue if you're making a non-alcoholic beer, folks. Make a nice hoppy beer because that's going to add you some flavour. Add a bit of dry hop to it. But for me, the interesting thing is with the Erdinger and with the Brooklyn is they've both got a bit of body to them.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how they've done that. Where Brewdog have got a lot of experience in making beer. Northern Monk have got a lot of experience in making fantastic beers. So why are they? I mean, this is like water.
Yeah.
It's like water.
Yeah. It's not great, that one. And
No.
I won't. With the greatest respect to Northern Monk, I do like their beers.
Yeah.
And their normal alcoholic range is very, very pleasant. But I won't be rushing out to get this.
I wouldn't buy that one again. Oh, gee whiz, the Windy Pops are going to get me. So the last one is the one I was looking forward to the least because I love a stout, and I don't know how this is going to translate into into a non-alcoholic version. I don't know how that's going to work. A milk stout. I'm told these beers are very good. I've not tried them. So it's Big Drop Brewing Co. and it's their Galactic Milk Stout, which is 0.5%. Excuse me, hints of chocolate and coffee. Not only is it alcohol-free, it is also gluten-free. And this company was founded in 2016, and they only make no and low alcohol beers. I'm not gonna lie, dude, that looks pretty good in the glass. But yeah, so they only make no and low alcohol beers, and rather than making a beer and then taking the alcohol out, they
just make it
a low alcohol beer, which is an interesting way of doing it.
And I'm curious to know whether or not it would be, and it sounds obvious in a way, but whether it be is it the same process or is the fact that you just would normally make a beer and then take the alcohol out, is it a completely different process to then make a non-alcoholic beer? So I don't know.
No, I don't. I think a lot of it is to do with burning the alcohol. And the other thing is, folks, if you, especially this time of year, when you are thinking about your calories and the fat that you get, like me, you're already fat before you start the festive season. You don't want to be putting too much weight on. Most of the calories in beer come from the alcohol.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's that one, dude?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm
not a massive. I mean, I don't drink as much stout. You're much more of a stout connoisseur than I am.
I am a stout connoisseur.
You're a stout connoisseur, a connoisseur of many things.
Stout in both contexts of the word.
So for me, it's pleasant for a change. I probably wouldn't drink a lot of it, but as a change from as I say, from either a pale ale or a lager, or it's okay. But I wouldn't drink this.
No, I think for me, and it's a challenge. Like I say, I do like a stout, but if I'm going to pick a stout, generally speaking, it's an imperial stout. So we're talking 10% or stronger. So this is a million miles away from that. However, if you like a glass of milk stout, I don't think this is terrible. You do get a little bit of a hint of coffee and chocolate on the back of your tongue.
You can definitely, you can tell what it's meant to be. You can tell that it is. You can tell the flavorings in it.
Yeah.
So even me as an uninitiated stout drinker as such, I can tell what it's at least trying to be. Whereas with the Northern Monk one and the Punk AF, it's there's just no taste to it. Whether or not you like the taste of the stout, at least there is a taste to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and this has 102 calories per can, so that's not so bad, is it? And I'll tell you what, dude, I think I've actually had worse milk stouts than this as well.
Really?
Yeah, that have been 4 or 5%. I think that's okay. It's a little bit light-bodied, as you'd expect, but it's not. It's not as bad as I was expecting.
No, I say, and for that one that you were looking forward to it as a stout drinker, I'd say for me, you should be able, even though it's no alcohol or non-alcoholic, you should be able to taste at least what it's meant to taste like, if that makes sense. There should be a flavor, even though there's no alcohol, there should be a flavor. And 2 or 3 of them to me tonight, there's been a couple of real letdowns in terms of the Northern Monk and the Punk AF. They just weren't very pleasant.
That Northern Monk has probably disappointed me. It's just disappointed me. I've got nothing else to say about it, really. It's just got no flavour to it. The Punk AF, I get where you're coming from with that. I didn't mind it as a refreshing sort of summery drink. This is probably second on my list. Probably up there with the Erdinger for me, this one.
Yeah.
So this is the...
It's not unpleasant. It's just for me as a non-normal stout drinker, it's nice for change. It's pleasant for a change from what I would normally drink. I just wouldn't choose this type of drink. I can't imagine lots of stout drinkers that want a non-alcoholic version would think, like yourself, would think, actually, that's okay. I don't mind that.
Yeah, if you're a stout drinker, don't get me wrong, if you're a real stout drinker, you're not going to switch to it.
No.
You're not going to pick it over anything else, but you got to drive. I think this is better. This is better than a fizzy, sugar-filled Coca-Cola or whatever else is on offer.
Yeah.
If I had to choose out of the 3, I think for me, the Brooklyn Brewery Special Effects Hoppy Lager head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, very good. I say I had tried that, but I can't remember loads about it. But I remember the bottle, and I remember the design of the bottle, and I remember having it. But now, obviously, tasting it on this, it's pleasant, really good.
Yeah,
really, really good. Yeah,
that's it. That's it. So I say we bring this episode to a close because, quite frankly, some gases need to be expelled before Oh no, we went there a little bit before we get to record the next episode. So, folks, if you listen to this, we are now recording 2 episodes a week for the next 3 weeks on the old live stream. If you listen to it on the audio, then that's fine. Everything's just as normal. You're going to hear it once a week, dropped every Monday over Christmas. And then we're going to be back into the new year when we have a guest, and we'll talk about who that guest is going to be on a later episode. But we're going to be back to normal in the new year. So, we're going to be recording another episode shortly. All being well, Mr. Andrew Ryan will be joining us. First time on the podcast in a long, long time. Was hoping to join us for episode 200, but unfortunately got work issues and was not able to make it.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
So, yeah, thank you for listening. How do you want to close this one out, guys? I'll leave it with you.
I think for me, a little bit shorter, but no less sweet. Really enjoyed it. Tried a couple of beers, even though they're non-alcoholic, that I would not have tried before, haven't tried before, and interesting just to get Shiner's take on no and low alcohol. So yeah, it's been interesting, short and sweet, and we'll look forward to the next one.
Indeed. And like I say, that's the way it's going to be for the next couple of weeks. So we get our time with our family over Christmas, and we know you're going to enjoy your time with your family over Christmas. So we'll say thank you for listening, and we will catch you next week.